Guys, welcome back once again to my channel. My name is Dami. In today's class, we're looking on how to draft the simple dress pattern. And today's class is going to be very detailed. So if today is the first time on this channel, you're welcome once again. You can tap on the notification bell to get notified when I post videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So let's get started. Okay, so the simple dress pattern, simple basic dress pattern. When you say something is basic, it's just like the foundation to which designs are created, like the starting point. So a dress is otherwise known as a gown. It is a garment worn by women. It could be long, it could be short, it could be it could be a pencil dress, a high-low dress, a peplum dress. So now with the basic dress pattern, you can achieve other kinds of dress, other type of dress. So the measurement I'll be using is my bust measurement. I already have it here. I'm trying to put it on the screen. The waist measurement, the hip, the length, the bust points, the half length, and the armhole measurements. Also, to get the armhole is the bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. That will give me the bust I'm working with is bust 30, bust 36. Okay, so let's just get right in. Already marked the starting point. The dress length I'm working with is 33. So I already have my 33 and then 1 inch allowance at the hem. So after drafting that, the next measurement I'm going to take is the bust measurements. Shoulder to the bust point is 10.5. I'm just going to mark it right there. Connect the lines together. The bust point. So after taking the bust point measurement, I will take in my waist measurement, that is from the shoulder to the waist or the half length. The measurement I'm using is 15 inches. So I'll just mark my 15 inches and connect the lines together. We'll move on to the hip measurement. Now, the hip measurement is usually from the waist to where the hip is, and I'm using 8 inches. Like the distance from the waist to the hip is 8 inches. That's more like the standard measurement. But if it's someone that has a wider hip, the hip is usually the largest part of the body. For someone that has a wider hip, you can use, instead of using 8 inches, you can use 9 inches or even 10. It depends on how wide the hip is. So I have my measurement, my bust point, my waist, and my hip. I'm just going to take the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement I have is 16 inches. I'm going to divide the 16 inches by 2. Give us 8. From the 8, we take in our neck depth. Standard measurement for the neck is 3 inches. Okay, I forgot to mention that the paper was folded into 2. So we are drafting the front pattern and the back pattern together. You can draft yours separately. I'm just trying to work with time. So already the paper is folded into 2 for the front and the back. In the back, we'll have our 2 inches for our zip allowance. Please don't forget that. So I'm just going to take my shoulder measurements, my shoulder slant, and come down by 1 inch. Then connect it to the neckline. For the front neck depth, 3 by 3, then connect it to the shoulder slant. So to get the armhole measurement, the standard is the bust circumference. That's 36 divided by 6 plus 1.5. I have 7.5. So I'm just going to connect the 7.5 from the shoulder slant. I'll connect the 7.5 just like this. That's my 7.5. The 7.5 is the armhole measurement. Mark it down to the chest line. Connect the shoulder slant to the chest line. That's the armhole measurement. Just like this. Okay, so after doing that, to get the armhole curve, you'd find the midpoint. That is the midpoint from 7.5. From the shoulder slant to the chest line is 7.5. Then you get the midpoint of 7.5. That's 7.5 divided by 2. You can just fold your tape rule like I did mine. So that's the midpoint. Then for the front, just like the way we did in the basic bodies, you come in by 1 inch because the front armhole is usually deeper than that of the back. Once the front is curved like this inwards, the back pattern would be the regular armhole curve. It doesn't curve inwards like that of the front. You can go through my videos. I posted a video of the basic bodies. It's just the measurements are similar. The only difference is that we are making a dress, and a dress is way longer than the basic bodies. So after that, I get my measurement, my bust measurement divided by 4 will give me 9 inch. Then the waist measurement, I'm working with 30. The waist circumference divided by 4. The hip measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4 also. Then I'll connect the lines together. That's the basic measurements. Actually, the hip is not like the human body now is not usually straight. Like that hip side is not, it doesn't have a straight line. So that's why I just added a little curve. You can as well, make your straight, but once you're cutting it on your fabric, you will notice that the human body is not straight figure. It has a curve. It's curvy at the hip area. So I'll just connect it there. Take the measurement I have on my hip down to my dress length. We are using the hip measurement because that's the widest part of the body. But if we are to make a pencil dress, then we can reduce it, what we have on the hip, reduce it by 1 inch for us to give that a little bit of, pencil effect. But since this is a basic, we are just going to cut it straight. We are not alternating. So I'm just going to mark my dart 4 inches from the waist, connect it to the bust point. So from the bust point, I'll come down by 1 inch, then take 1/2 inch on both sides for the dart. Come down by 1 inch. Go upwards by 1.5. Just like the way I'm doing then connect the lines together. So when you're connecting them, make sure it's straight. Just make sure it doesn't bend or curve so that you have the perfect pattern drafting. Like I said earlier, the pattern drafting is the basics, is the basis for the starting point rather, the starting point of designing. So once you can perfect your pattern making skills, you are good to go. So here we have the front parts. I'll just mark out my allowance. It's very, very important to add your inseam allowance. Just trying to trace it down. When you are cutting on your fabric, you can add about 2. So this is our front. Then for the back, okay, let's proceed to the back. For the back, the neck will come down by 1.5. Remember that the paper is folded into 2. I have my front and back together. The back also has 2-inch zipper allowance, so don't forget that when you're cutting also. Then from the armhole, instead of coming inwards, instead of it dipping, for the back measurement, you just curve it from that armhole measurement downwards. There's no need for it to go inside. Okay, so yeah, I realized that I wasn't filming. It's just stopped recording and that I'd already cut out the pieces. So the front and the back is actually very similar, but there's a little bit of difference in the darts. Now for the front, you notice that we started our darts from the bust points. For the back, now instead of starting from the bust points, we are going to start it from the armhole, the chest line, then connect it down to the hip. So that's just the major difference. I will be in the comment section, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in my next class. Bye.